Hi there guys, welcome to the Phone Box episode 3, and in today's episode we're taking a look at the BlackBerry 9720 Curve, and that's in the colour black that I've got here. So let's take a look around this phone. So on the front we have got a 2.8 inch touchscreen. We have got QWERTY keyboard at the bottom, hang up button, return button, optical trackpad. We've got our option menu button, and we've got the answer phone button. We've got the little LED indicator at the top here along with the speaker. We've got a lock button up top, so that locks and unlocks it. We've got a micro USB 3.5mm headphone jack. We've got a dedicated BPM button on the side. All of that can be changed to whatever you'd like within the settings. We've got a little microphone down the bottom. This is just a little bit to take the back off. Let me just try do that. Ooh, snaps on and off. This back is kind of like a plastic textured rubbery effect. I don't know if that's just scratched it. This one weirdly feels sticky. Don't know if that's a good thing or not. But yeah, it's got the little BlackBerry logo there. So this is obviously back when the back of the phone was removable. Obviously here you put your battery and your micro SD card in along with the SIM. So we've got a 1450 milliamp hour battery here. That has taken a bit of a beating along the way at some point. So I'll just pop this back on. And this up top is a 5-megapixel camera with an LED flash. On the right hand side you've got the dedicated camera button, you've got an up and down volume button, and then a play pause in the middle. And that's pretty much everything around the device. If you had one of these phones, let me know in the comments if you had one. I'd be intrigued to know how popular they were. I never had one back when they were released, which was in August 2013. I've just later picked this up to sort of review it for the Phone Box episode. But around that time, other phones that were out in 2013 were thinking of the iPhone 5S, the iPhone 5C with the coloured backs. We've got the HTC One and the Samsung Galaxy S4. So that's the kind of time period we're talking about when we're talking about when most people would have this phone. It weighs just 120 grams, so it's nice and light. 2.8 inch touchscreen on the front. So you can obviously use the optical trackpad like you usually would, but you just have the option of using the touchscreen as well. It's actually nice and responsive for a phone so old. So yeah, it's actually quite easy to use. It's got a 480 by 360p 214 ppi screen, 512 megabytes of onboard storage, but obviously you can up that with a micro SD card. This particular model is running on, let's have a look. So 9720, which is on BlackBerry OS 7.1. So that's the software it's running. Usability in 2024. I don't have a SIM card in it at the moment, but it is probably best to note that this is a 2G and 3G phone. The majority of the UK networks and around the world have switched off 3G now, so you would only be able to use that on the 2G GSM sort of network, which would more or less just be voice calls and text, perhaps a little bit of data at very, very slow speeds. If you did ever pick one of these up now, that's all you'd be able to kind of use it for. So let's have a look at the menus and see what it includes. So with the 7.1, obviously, because it's touchscreen as well, you can choose how you interact with it, whether it be the optical trackpad or the touchscreen. You can choose like how far up you want this to draw, like you can leave it at, for example, nothing, 1 line, 2 lines, or all the way up, and swipe through the different pages. So if we start from the main menu, we've got our phone. We've got the BBM, which obviously won't work anymore because BlackBerry Internet Services and BlackBerry Enterprise Services have stopped, so we wouldn't even be able to get that. You've got the alarm clock. You've got the camera. Should we do a little test? That decided it needed a bit of flash, but that's the result. Let's use the optical to zoom. Again, not the best, could be worse. It's just a 5 megapixel camera. App world, again, that won't work because, I mean, I've not got Wi-Fi set up, but even still, the BlackBerry internet services have ended, so we wouldn't even be able to get onto that. YouTube, I think that was probably just a link to the website. Again, can't really get on that because I've not got Wi-Fi. Even if I did have Wi-Fi, the browser versions are so old that it just doesn't work anyway. This was a little broadcast feature where you could just type something and broadcast it to multiple different places, like a multicast kind of feature that Blackberries were known for. Social feeds, where you could have like your Facebook, your Twitter, your BBM all in one place. So that was that. Little Facebook link, Twitter app. Instant messaging, you've got MSN, Yahoo Messenger and Google Talk, which I don't think many people used, but there are some options. Applications, we've got Foursquare, MemoPad, Tasks, Calculator, Microsoft Documents to go. We've got something I installed, Opera Mini 4, but it still doesn't let you on many websites because of how old the software and hardware is. Password Keeper, Voice Note Recorder, Voice Notes, Voice Dialing, Ringtones, Files, BlackBerry Protect, which I'm guessing is sort of like a malware phishing kind of protect feature, which probably doesn't work anymore. We've got games, let's have a look. So we do have the classic Brick Breaker. Let's give it a go. Why not? Let's give it a game, see how well I can do. See, I'm using the cursor. I wonder if you could use the touchscreen for it. Yeah, you can. So you can actually use the touchscreen, which makes it a bit more interactive. There we go. Right, enough of that one. So that's the only game that's actually downloaded. You could have at the time downloaded more on the BlackBerry World, but that's not available anymore, unfortunately. In your options, it's just your settings. You've got all of your different settings in here. Different information, your battery. Convenience keys, so obviously the BBM dedicated key, which actually says BBM on the side. Yeah, there you can see it. You can actually change that to different things. So, and the camera button, but that's just defaulted as camera. So yeah, you could choose which you'd like to set the left hand side button for. So for example, if I choose Brick Breaker, save that, every time I click that left button it would launch Brick Breaker, so that's handy. Back to settings, BlackBerry ID, payments, all the rest of it, just all your settings are in there. This is your setup, so how you set up the phone, your different options for profiles for loud, vibrate, all the rest of it. Got wireless settings. You could actually do mobile hotspot on this one, which I wasn't aware of. That's quite interesting. Maybe it's a BlackBerry OS 7 thing, but definitely wasn't on earlier versions from what I can remember. I've got a little help guide. We've got the lock. So if you press that, it'll just lock it, and you'll need to unlock it with the top button. And then you've got your power off and on button. So that, in a nutshell, is the BlackBerry 9720 Curve 3G device. Pop it down in the comments if you had one of these. Let me know your thoughts on the phone. And if you've got any recommendations of any phone that you'd like to see on this series in the future, just let me know and I'll try and source one. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.